Facts are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
The intensity of NASCAR inspection has mandated an increased attention to detail during construction of a Winston Cup race car. One example of that is this template, which is marked with ribbon strips down along the margin. Blue, green, and even red in some spots. Now what the strips indicate are areas of tolerance allowed by NASCAR during inspection. The teams are also provided with this tolerance gauge. As you'll see, it's marked green for 1/2 inch, blue for 1/4 inch, and even red for 70 thousandths of an inch. To use the gauge, it's quite simple. You find an area corresponding to the color of tape. Here it's red. Slide the red portion beneath. If it goes completely beneath the template, then there's too much tolerance. You must build up the area of the race car so that the gauge will not slide beneath the template. So red for the rear of the trunk, blue across the top, and 1/2 inch, and that's all for along the windshields back and front. That's how specific NASCAR Winston Cup racing has become over the last few years.
Boy, they watch them close, don't they?
Boy, they really do. Gary Nelson has implemented said all bodies are going to be the same. They're going to be, as Jerry Punch just pointed out. That's all you're allowed at those specific areas.
Were they that strict when you were racing, Ned?
Well, we thought they were strict, but we didn't have that kind of measuring tool.
Didn't even have templates back then.
What was that? No, we didn't know what they were.
No. And the Jasper engine U.S. Air car of Ted Musgrave has went behind the wall.
And so as Hut Strickland, or is about to. They're pushing the car back and going to take it to the garage area.
Yeah, he did have a great run going here today before he started having his problems.
There's the interval between first and second, Earnhardt and Mark Martin.
Earnhardt seems to widen it out a little bit. Mark had closed in there earlier.
Well, they ran across some traffic coming off the second corner, and I don't know if that's the reason that he got such an advantage on Mark or if Mark has a problem.
These three continue to run very closely, and they are battling for. Ooh, I think there was a little contact there. Jarrett and Petty and Schrader.
Yeah, Kyle slowed down a little bit more, I think, than Dale Jarrett thought he was going to going into the turn. Kyle was going to let him go, and they bumped a little bit. Now Kyle moves to the inside and lets Kenny Schrader go by. So Jarrett takes over fourth. Kenny Schrader now running the best I've seen him run today is in 5th place. He has come right on up through there in the Kodiak Chevrolet. First time we've shown him in the top 5, at least during green flag running.
And another Rick Henry car, the Ricky Rudd machine, is in the 10th position, also on the lead lap. And of course, Jeff Gordon was running in 3rd position when he crashed very early in the race, but he is still out there. And let me see where I can. He's in 30th position. Jarrett and Schrader.
Of course, the engines in Dale Jarrett's car are built by Hendrick Motorsports. There's probably not a lot of difference in the engines. Those two cars we're seeing right now. Rick Wetzel, there's the guy who heads up the building of the 18 engines, and I believe that the B&R do the engines for.
Yeah, Kenny Bingham and Ronnie Revis, those guys up. And here comes Schrader on the inside of Jarrett, trying to take the spot away.
Let's get down to Jerry Punch, who has a comment on Dale Jarrett.
We told you at the top of the show that Dale Jarrett had been diagnosed with pneumonia early in the week and had been on medication, antibiotics. Dale ran a 200-mile race yesterday in his Busch Grand National car, and although he said the race was okay, when he got to the room last night, he was very, very tired. He said, much tighter than I thought I would ever be. He said, just told me before the race today, as he sat in the car getting ready to crank the engine on pit road, he said, I am very weak. He said, I feel okay. I'm just so weak. He said, I'll be okay until about 2/3 of the way through the race, and then my lack of strength due to my illness will take its toll, and I hope I can make it. Right now, he's got to be struggling.
Yeah, I would think so, but it really isn't being reflected on the racetrack. He's staying right in there, but here comes Kyle now, charging back up, going to the inside, trying to take the position away from Dale again, not able to do so.
Well, if it gets too weak, I hope he doesn't stay out there too long.
Yeah, that would not be. There's Jeff Gordon motioning everybody to pass him to the inside.
And they say thank you and do.
I think it's a little too early to predict who's going to win the Winston Cup Championship this year. However, The winner in 6 of the last 8 Transouth 500s has gone on to win the Winston Cup Championship.
And Ned Earnhardt is putting a little distance on Mark Martin.
Yeah.
As we widen the camera back out, look how far back it is to Mark Martin. So Earnhardt is either picking up the speed or Martin is slowing down.
Talked about at the top of the show about that black is back.
Dale's trying to carry on that streak that was interrupted briefly by the red and white victory of Morgan Shepherd last week, but black is back on top here today. And there's Rick Wilson, who has brought the STP Pontiac into the back pits for a look-see. They're raising the hood on that car. We've seen a lot of that today, some of it for overheating. Looks like it could be a more serious problem for Rick Wilson. Back with more from Darlington after this. With a little more than 100 laps left, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, and Dale Jarrett. Well, you can bet where I'm going to be on April the 2nd at 7:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to be in front of my TV set, tuned to ESPN, and watching the battle of the New York teams. It's the Rangers and the Islanders. NHL action here on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern Time on April the 2nd. The Rangers and the Islanders.
Here's a good battle. Ricky Rudd and Alan Kowicki battling each other. That is for the 8th and 9th position. Right now, Alan Kowicki has the 8th position. Rudd trying to take it away.
And here he comes on the inside. Has position. They come off their corner side by side. Well, they made it. Now look at Marlin.
Don't go 3 abreast into this turn, guys. Sterling knew that.
He got way down the inside. Kick up the dust. Look at this.
He said, let those guys settle their battle, and then I'll deal with them individually.
Kowicki should have a good run off that corner.
Oh,
he slipped a little bit.
Yeah, slipping coming off the corner. Now Rudd falls back in line and says, okay, let's cool it for a while.
And while we was watching that battle, Dale Jarrett got back around Kenny Schrader, moved into 4th. Now this is the 8th, 9th, 10th positions. Terry Labonte is in there, 11th. He's not far behind the 8th. There he is.
Kowicki, we got
did it again.
He did it again. Meanwhile, to report on Earnhardt, he is still pulling away from Mark Martin. Earnhardt is the leader. There he is. He's our leader, and he is actually pulling away. But Ned, we speculated during commercial that it's overcast, it's cool